everybody, Lune here with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. Welcome back to our online guided music practice. We normally do this noon to 1. We're a little bit over an hour after, but it's all right because our videos remain for you to review. If you're joining us right now, we are going to go over a melody or a song. And we're going to play the chords, we're going to play the harmony, which is the chords, the melody, which are the single notes, and we're also going to review a little bit of the basics that will help you, that will help us, play this song. We're going to try to cover various instruments, so this is a little bit of a stretch what we're doing here as far as like trying to cover as much as we can. But the good thing is we cover this in our prior videos. So if you're watching us, get your instruments ready. We're getting ready to start. The melody, or actually the chords you heard me playing, were this top ones. We have G, D7, back to G, back to G, D7, and G. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. We're going to play. This is bar number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see the 2 dots over there. You see the 2 dots over here. That means we're going to repeat it twice, the entire thing, right? So we're going to go 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars, and then to the 9 over here, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I didn't have room on this board to write the last 4 bars, but remember the last 4 bars is a repetition of this entire thing again. All right, so I'm actually trying to promote this video as we speak. Anyway, so we have the chords. I'm going to play the chord. I have it written down over here. You can do this with guitar, flute, piano, or violin, and we're going to try to cover all those instruments for our guided practice. So the chords are in quarter. Actually, it's 4/4 in the key of G. That means all the F's are going to be sharp. All right, so we have quarter notes, half notes, quarter notes, whole note. Okay. All right, just bear with me. Just share this link a little more. Share if you can. If you can share, that would be great. It'll help more people out there. So let's do the chords, right? So we got G, 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 D7, G, G, D7, D7, G. Again, those are the chords. G, 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 D7, G, D7, D7, G. Then bar number 9, that's an A minor, right? That would be A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, D7, 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 D7. Now we'll repeat the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to do this without saying the chords, but the chords are these big letters on the top. Okay, basically, when you play the harmony, which are the chords, you don't play the single notes. Someone else could do that if you have someone playing the harmony, someone playing the melody. But if you're doing the chords, you do this chord and you just follow the timing. So a G quarter note, so G quarter note, G quarter note, right? These are all quarter notes. So G, 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 G. This one's also a G chord, right? But this is a half a note. This one is gonna be is gonna last for twice the amount of this, so it's gonna be G, right? This one's G, 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 D7, G, G, D7, D7, G. All right. I'm almost done, guys, sharing these links, so I'll be able to slow down a little bit and go through the review. All right. Okay, so if you're joining us, share the link, leave us a comment. Again, I'm gonna do the chords without saying them. Okay, you can look at this and kind of follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was the melody, guys. That was the melody. I'm sorry, that was a harmony. That's the top part, the chords. Okay? So we did this, repeat it again, then we do this line, and we finalize with one more of the top line. Okay? Let's go over the notes, right? This, if I was doing the melody, it would sound like this, right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's do that again. That didn't come out too well. So we have G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G. Let's try that. All right, and I'm looking here at the music sheet. It's important that you look at the music sheet right here. So I put it in larger notes here so you can see. All right, now this song is really good because it emphasizes the quarter notes, half notes, and full notes, and those are the most, I guess, popular ones. There are other notes like eighth notes, 16th, and so forth. There's faster notes, but these are the three most popular ones, I would say. All right, so let's try the melody one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the melody. And ideally what you want to do is get together with another person. They can play the harmony and you can play the melody. So let's do a little bit of a review. And I have a couple of posters we did in our prior lessons. This, can you zoom in on this board right here? Now this is a board or a poster that we did to help you learn the notes, right? This is basically a poster of all the notes that are in the G clef and F clef, right? These are all the notes. There's more notes going higher and there's more notes going lower. But we just made it from the bottom line of the F all the way to the top line of the G clef, right? So that's pretty much what we cover. And if you notice, the notes repeat themselves. After G, you go back to A, right? We put it in this visual line, a diagonal, so you can see how from lower to higher. And one of the things that would help you if you're playing an instrument is that when you see on the music sheets the notes literally higher, like for instance on my guitar, the higher notes are kind of going visually, they're kind of going down in my guitar, right? So we got low to high, low to high, you know. That's just because the guitar notes are on the top, the lower ones are on the top, and the higher ones are on the bottom. So just it's important to remember. That will help you like find the notes. The other thing that will help you is the acronyms, and the acronyms are very important if you're new. If you're new, it will help you. Once you memorize them, you don't really need to think about the acronym. But the acronyms are good for beginning folks, right? So every note on the line, there's a note on every line, and there's also a note on every space between the lines. There's also a note on every line on the bottom, the bottom clef, which is the F clef, and there's also a note in between each line. And very important, there's a note in between the two clefs, and that note is called middle C. Middle C, right? From middle C, you go 5 notes up, you go to G. That G lines up with this shape that kind of looks like a G. Right here, the second line from the bottom up of the G clef, that's your G. 5 notes from middle C up. Now 5 notes down from middle C, you get to F, and that lines up with the F clef. This is pretty basic stuff. All right, so I just wanted to review that. The letters you see on the side are markings that I added on to help you like memorize the letters. So the acronym here is the acronym is EGBDF, right? So if you think of this saying, every good boy does fine. Those are your notes. EGBDF. Let me use this pointer. Every good boy does fine. You can see that on the camera? Yeah. Every good boy does fine. If you can think of a different acronym that will help you, that's good. That means that this line, you follow it and there's an E. So any note that falls on this line all the way through, it's going to be an E. No matter if it's here, here, here. It doesn't matter as long as it's on this line, like this one is, that's going to be an E. Any note that falls on this line, it's going to be a G, right? In our poster, we only did one note, right? One note of each, I guess, one note. So, but if it was a note here, that would be a G. If there's a note here, it's a G, as long as it's on the line. B, the same thing. This whole entire line, all the way through, any notes that fall on there are B and D, right? Again, and the same thing with F. Now, where it gets interesting is the lines in the middle. This one doesn't have an acronym, but what's interesting is that the words themselves from the bottom up spell the word face. F-A-C-E. Face. These are the notes in between the lines. F-A-C-E. Face. So anytime a note falls right in this space is an F. Anytime a note falls right in this space, all the way, right? That's an A. And there's another C. And there's another E. We also talked about how every 8 notes, the notes repeat themselves. It's an alphabet, right? A through G, right? So wherever you start, like if you start in A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? It repeats itself. If we start in G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's very important to know, okay? So basically it's A through G and you go back to 8. There are sharps and flats in between. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but not entirely because we can't really cover everything. We're just kind of doing a rough review. On the other poster, we had a sharp note on the F line right here. That means that all your Fs, even this F, that F, this F, right? And pretty much all the Fs you find are going to be sharp. Okay, that means they're just a little bit higher than a regular F. Anyway, so this is a review. And just to wrap it up, the bottom clef, which is the F clef, has an acronym, a couple of acronyms. For the lines, we have G, B, D, F, A. I found in this book that a good way to remember that if you're a beginner is Great Big Dreams for America. Okay, it's just an acronym, no meaning to it. It's just it's just something to help you remember it. Great Big Dreams for America, or you can make up your own acronym. And then that's for all the Great Big Dreams for America are the acronym to help you memorize the notes on the lines. Now the notes on the spaces, this one's kind of funny, right? It says A, C, E, G. It says all cows eat grass. Again, all cows eat grass. And I have a book. If you look at the events, events link on the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach page, you'll see what I mean. There's actually a nice little more detailed graph about that. So now that I cover that, just wanted to mention maybe this right here. Can you see that on the camera? Okay, so these are the times, right? The quarter note looks like this, half a note looks like that, whole note looks like that. So I made a circle or a square around that because these are the notes we're going to be using for our little song, right? There's other notes, as you can see here. There's different notes, but today we're going to focus on these three. So really quick, the quarter notes would go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the quarter notes. The half notes, it's like you keep counting, right? You keep counting, but you're only going to make a note every other note. So you're going to let that note ring twice as long. So this one's going to be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That was half notes. Whole notes, you're going to let the note ring for the entire 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll use the guitar. Okay, you're focusing on here. Can you see the guitar a little bit? No? Okay. As long as they can hear it. This is important for this. So let me do what I did with snapping my fingers. I'm going to use the A note on my guitar. Okay. So I'm going to do quarter notes, right? Instead of doing this, I'm going to actually demonstrate. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every count there's a note for a quarter note, right? For the half note, it's a little bit different, right? Every other count there's a note, and you let it ring for the time in between. I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I messed up on the last one a little bit, but let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice the note rang a little bit longer. Every single note rang twice as long as this notes. So these notes, they lasted longer in time, right? They lasted twice as much as this one. The whole note, that's gonna last the entire 4 count. So let me do the whole note. This one right here. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you notice that the last note, this whole note lasted longer, right? So let me do 4 of these, 2 of these, and 1 of that, right? So it's gonna be like this. 1, and let me put my volume up. Let me try that. Okay. Let me get the pointer here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm gonna run it like that, and I'm gonna play it again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just kind of demonstrating, right? We're gonna get to our little song in a little bit. So that's why we had to review that. This is basically a C scale, right? It's kind of similar to this one, but this one is only from C to C to C, right? This is a C scale, but it's essentially something like this. Actually, this is a C scale too, but we extended a few notes below and a few notes above for the purposes of teaching you the acronym. All right, so now that we went over that, we did several videos. We did several videos of music lessons. If you follow our Facebook page, we did several demonstrations, and this was one of the guitar chord progressions that we worked on. All right, so this one, if you're a guitarist and you're into chords, you know, like if you know how to play your chords, these are the pictures of the chords: G, E minor, A minor, D7. If you look at our video, I think it was probably our first video, that guitar or music guided online music guided practice. We have G, right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play 4 strums of each chord. So I have G, 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 E minor, E minor, E minor, E minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, D7, D7, D7. So I'm going G minor, G minor, G major, G major. So G, 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 E minor, E minor, E minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, D7, D7, D7. So that's the sequence, right? I'm playing 4 for practice, right? So you can do 1, but let's do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we talked a little bit about how to do the chords, right? I'm not going to get into how to position the chord, the fingers, you know, that we'll do another video on individual chords, but basically, these are the sequence. This is a guitar chord progression. And the reason why I wanted to mention that is because this guitar chord progression, if you have been practicing that, you can play this. Because we have G, and we have G. And then we have D7, and we have D7 over there. A minor right here, and we have A minor there. So, right, so now that we have that, so let's do that right here. So we have G, D7, G, D7, D7, G. Again, G, D7, G, D7, D7. Now this bar right here. A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, D7, D7, Okay, so I was doing the chords, right? The melody, this is the melody right here. And I'm going to demonstrate with other instruments, okay? I'm not as efficient with other instruments, but I'm learning other instruments so I can help folks with beginning instruments, okay? So the melody here, can you see me playing there? And okay, you see both the poster, okay. So I'm going to look at this sheet, and I'll leave this here for you to look at. Just know that I'm going to repeat this whole section once, or actually twice. I'm going to repeat it twice, then go to this part and finalize with one more of these. Okay, so ready? Make sure you sit up straight. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that little part, I got a little nervous on this part. This part is, the notes keep going down, right? I got a little nervous here and I just stopped. So, you know, what I'm trying to show you guys is to practice. And if you mess up, you keep working, right? So let me try that again. I'm gonna try to count in my mind to kind of relax a little more, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I was going a little bit by memory, but also looking at the sheet, and you're only going to get better by actually looking at the sheet and actually counting, right? So you saw it was harder for me to count and play. Maybe the next step is to get a metronome and play to the metronome. That way the metronome is doing the counting for you until you figure out, you know, until you're better at keeping the time, okay? So that was that. I'm gonna demonstrate with violin. You do a little bit of the bars? Yeah. Okay, actually I'll try to do it with violin, right? And see how that goes. So I'm learning violin too, so I'm trying to learn all the instruments that I can. All right, so you make sure your instrument is ready. I have a violin here, and I have a little bit of rosin, right? Put a little bit of rosin to keep it from being scratchy. Okay. All right, so I'll do a pizzicato. For now. So violin, it's for violin you have G, D, A, E. Okay, those are the notes on your violin, and your violin is mostly on the mostly on the G clef. Okay, so I'll do pizzicato just so you can hear the melody. Okay, so we have. Okay, let me use this pick so the sound can come out better. I'm doing pizzicato. Pizzicato means you pluck the strings, right? So we got G, 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 A. Okay, I gotta do that again. Just use my nails. So we got G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G. Again. G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G. And then you go to this part, right? With this, I'm playing what do you call this? Melody. Those are single notes. Melodies are single notes. That's kind of like how I like to kind of like understand it. If you're a music professional, and you're probably gonna find a lot of better ways to describe this, but in education we have where the students teach another student right after the professor or the teacher does the lesson. Then they call it pair and share. So you get together with your peer that's next to you in the classroom, and you explain to them what you understood, and then they explain to you what they understand. So this is a great method for learning, right? So I'm kind of, as a student myself, doing this to explain it to you so I can learn. And if you like try to explain it back, it helps, right? So if it's two of you watching the video, you can try to compare and share, right? So we have G, 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 A, E, A, G, B, A, G. Okay, so here's the big moment. Let me try this. Okay, I didn't complete the entire melody, right? So I'm only gonna do as much as I can. You know, the thing is to try to make sure you have a, what do we call this? A shoulder rest on your violin, right? You have a chin rest, you put your chin rest right there. Probably got to trim this beard, get it out of the way. You hold the bow this way if you're beginning. If you are more experienced, you hold it in the center. And I'm not more experienced, so my daughter keeps telling me to hold it like this as I'm learning. But I'm kind of ambitious, so I'm gonna try this. If that doesn't work out, I'll resort to beginning. Anyway, so we have, let me try this, right? You see I'm looking at the strings. You're not really supposed to once you are proficient in violin, but I'm sort of new. This is like maybe my third time using violin. So let's see how that goes. All right, very scratchy, very, but you can hear the melody there a little bit, right? So let's see. Now I'm gonna hold it this way because my daughter was right. It's easier to hold this when you hold it this way. The thumb on the, not in between the string or the hairs and the stick. Actually on the outside if you're beginning. It'll help you be more stable until you get the hang of it. So let's try that. Let me just warm up and do long bows. All right, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You can hear the melody, right? That was this part. And we have to do that twice. So I'm not going to torture you anymore with the violin. I just wanted to tell you that you can do this melody with any instrument with the violin. You just keep practicing. I've been doing some practice, between last week and this week with the violin, but as far as showing you, it's a more challenging, but I want to encourage you guys to keep trying. So we got G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G, again. Then we got A, which is open A. Then we go to E. And then we go to A. Let's see. Okay, you kind of heard it there. So that's about as much as I'm going to show you with violin, but if you're a beginning violin, you can definitely learn the name of the strings. There's a graph. If you go online, you can look up where to place your fingers, what fingers for each note. They have a designation. So I wanted to keep encouraging you guys to make sure your violin is tuned up. This violin is tuned up. It's just I'm new to this, but I did wanted to show you can do this melody with violin. Very simple. If you have experience with quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes, this melody is very helpful. So I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm gonna actually show you the piano. This is actually great for piano. All right, so let's plug this guy in. Okay, there we go. So you can do the melody again. There's so the melody would be right, G. So we got G, 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 A. Actually it's B, A, right? So it's B, A. So G, 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 A, B, A, G, B, A, G. Right? If you're learning piano, make sure you learn proper placement of the fingers. There's another music sheet that has the bass clef, which is let me see, it's actually on the back of this. So I'll try to play from that and see how that goes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you mess up, you do it again, and that's how we practice. So I'm kind of demonstrating how to practice. You mess up, you keep trying, right? So we go. This music sheet actually has the bass for the piano. So if you have that, make sure you also practice that, right? So it tells you which fingers to place on which keys, right? You want to place 5 fingers, 1 for each key. You put the thumb on the G. You put the pinky on the G, 1 octave below middle C. So you find middle C, and then you go to the G on the top. That's where you put your thumb. And then you go to the G, 2 G's down actually, right here, and that's your finger placement. I'm gonna put a picture of this for those of you that want to learn violin. I have the melody and actually the piano sheet for this. It's actually the same. This is the one I was playing for guitar. Is the same. They just the same exact melody. They just added, instead of the chords, they added a bass note, right? So it's kind of like like a bass line along with the melody. Bass line could be like actually harmony, right? Like it can be a harmony. It's a bass line, but it's also like it serves as bass and harmony, I think. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. All right. So let me slow down. I'm going a little bit too fast. So slowing down is a good thing for practicing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's three instruments I cover: guitar, violin, a piano, and that's all I'm gonna do, guys. Keep practicing. Don't be discouraged. Keep practicing. I really encourage you to watch the other videos. We were a little bit more descriptive in regards to the guitar chord transitions, all right? And also we did a C scale. So, you know, keep practicing, and that's the only way to make progress. Practice, practice, practice. I'll leave you alone so you can practice more, and don't be discouraged. Send us a message if you want to learn a specific thing. We can probably arrange to talk about that in our next video. Once again, Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, also with Art, Music, and Culture. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, your family, your friends, your community, and everyone else. See you next time.